Hey, what's up guys, it's Unleashed here today, and we are back with another video on Sonic X Shadow Generations. The Sonic game that, for once in the history of Sonic games, in the last 10 years at least, is actually looking pretty darn solid pre-release with basically zero issues, so it's looking good mate, it's looking good. And with the news in today's video, it seems that ain't stopping anytime soon, so let's not waste any more time because we've got a lot to go through in today's video. So yeah, without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's take a look at the news at hand. Onto Twitter, we Sonic Rush. Actually, hang on, just before we carry on with the video. Something tells me that you're not subscribed. How do I know that, you ask? Well, look at this. Are you seeing that right now? Most of the people watching this video right now aren't subscribed. What's going on with that then, eh? Press that subscribe button right the hell now because, you know, just saying, Sega was telling me that if you don't subscribe right now, they ain't releasing that Unleashed port. Okay, they didn't actually say that, but come on man, you should still subscribe right now. You won't regret it. Trust me. Anyways, I'll stop bothering you now, so on with the video. So here we have a tweet from Muhahaha. 2 new Sonic X Shadow Generation screenshots that were just posted on Sega.Japan. Then we have one screenshot of the open zone in Shadow Frontiers, and I mean, it's nothing too interesting. I mean, we can see a bit more of the world that we haven't seen before, and we can actually see the sky now actually, and yeah, that's about it really, nothing too interesting here, but yeah. Then the other screenshot is of this Generations remaster, quote-unquote remaster release anyways, and yeah, got a Dark Chow there, so yeah. Then some more info on the white space right here in Shadow Generations. In Shadow Generations, the story progresses around the freely roaming 3D map, White Space. By acquiring Doom power, the places you can go will expand, and there are plenty of elements to play with, such as conversations with characters, finding hidden items, and taking on challenges. Run around freely and enjoy every corner of White Space. So this confirms that there will be NPCs in Shadow Generations in the open zone, so thank God for that. Frontiers did not have any of that, so yeah, looking good for us right now. Then some information on Shadow's new powers. Shadow's special move, Chaos Control, can be used to stop the movement of enemies and gimmicks, and why is it formatted like that? That is so weird. And elegantly overcome difficulties. And Shadow's dark power, Doom power, can be used to blow away hordes of enemies and dash across water, allowing you to enjoy action you've never experienced before. So running across water is going to be through Shadow's Doom power. Gonna be honest, that's a bit disappointing. I would hope that's like a regular thing they can do, but just by boosting, but alas, that's not a thing unfortunately, so yeah. Anyways, right here from Sega Informant. From the description on the Asia website, the Time Eater also sends Shadow into White Space. When a mysterious creature creates time holes in their universe, Sonic and Shadow each set out on a high-speed action adventure. This variant of the Time Eater appears early on. So this basically means that Shadow Generations is going to be taking place during Sonic Generations, which I'm pretty sure confirms that nothing that takes place after Generations can appear in Shadow Generations. So like Infinite and stuff like that, Zavok, if people care about that. Yeah, that's not going to be in Shadow Generations unfortunately, so that's a bit sad. And a tweet right here from Spamite2, and he has gone into the metadata of the trailer for Sonic X Shadow Generations. As you can see, it says Rail Canyon Act 2 in the game, so yeah, basically in Shadow Frontiers, it's not Frontiers, it's Generations. I keep confusing it because it opens on everything like that. I apologize. But yeah, in Shadow Generations, what we actually see is Rail Canyon, not Bullet Station, as many people have been mistaking it for. Right here we have Wario64. Epic DB, a Steam DB equivalent, launched and appears to be leaking many unannounced projects under code names. So we have some stuff there if you actually cared about it. But relating this to Sonic X Shadow Generations, we can see in the screenshot right here, there's a lot you can look into for each individual game. For example, Miller, Sonic X Shadow Generations, has a classic Sonic Legacy skin alongside the announced modern Sonic skin. So I don't know when they were planning on telling us about that. Maybe this could be paid DLC or maybe a newsletter thing or something where it's timed. I don't know when they're planning on telling us about this, but yeah. But now the question is, what is the skin actually going to be? Is it going to be, you know, the one we all want, which is Jam Sonic, or is it going to be something stupid like the that voxel thing in Sonic Superstars in Cyber Station? Is it going to be that? Because if it's going to be that, that's going to be quite depressing actually, so I hope it isn't that, but we shall see. We shall see. Then another tweet right here from Metal Harbor. I'm glad to listen to the opinions of the Japanese staff. I believe in Sonic. And they're referencing this Japanese screenshot right here, and I have no idea what any of this says. And then Caramel Smoothie also doesn't know what it means, so he asks, and then Metal Harbor responds with, if I'm understanding correctly, it seemed that during development for the Shadow portions, they took into account both opinions from the Japanese team as well as Izuka / the American side. Sound like they wanted to make sure Shadow was portrayed in the best way possible, and that is very good. Because if it was just Ian Flynn by himself, we may have been screwed skewed slightly, so thankfully we're getting some Japanese insight for this as well, so very good, very good. Then right here we have Mika33088. I just noticed these on the results screen. I assume it's music and concept art like a base generations, but what is that book? Can we collect pages of Gerald's journal? And then Fidel, having actually played the game already, responds with, yes you can. So, in Shadow Generations, you can unlock pieces of Gerald's journals. That's actually interesting because they've already set Gerald's journals like a pre-order bonus with the physical copy of the game, so is it going to be the same pages in that physical copy of the journal in the game, or is it going to be different? I'm not sure. But either way, yeah, this is pretty cool to see. I'm a big fan of this. But now, we move on to some Takashi Iizuka interviews from various different sources. Starting with the Sonic Stadium. How does Sonic Team manage the workload between that project and this one? Obviously referring to Sonic X Shadow Generations. Iizuka. So, the Sonic Team has expanded greatly over the past years, and it's now large enough that they can handle multiple projects all at the same time. So even though we do have a big team working on Sonic Frontiers at that time, there are enough people that they can also start working on Sonic X Shadow Generations, while also having another team work on Sonic Superstars. And this is living proof that for all the people saying that, oh, we can't have a Sonic game releasing every single year, because that means it'll come out unpolished and stuff. No, that's not the case at all, because Sonic Team clearly is expanding, so we have plenty of people to be working on different projects all at the same time, and the game's still coming out polished, so yeah, this is fine. It's all fine here. The Sonic Stadium. Alright, so I noticed that Act 1 is playable out there, referring to the Summer Game Fest demo of the game. That presumably means there's multiple acts. Is there any kind of gameplay difference between the different acts of a level? Iizuka. Shadow Generations is a different game from Sonic Generations. Like, both do exist on the game in one package, but because they're both the Generations games, we wanted to have a similar format. So just like how Sonic Generations is a 3D level, you get to play with the high-speed action, there's also the side-scrolling gameplay for Sonic Generations. And for Shadow, we wanted to make sure I had 3D gameplay as well as 2D gameplay. So essentially, Act 1 is going to be 3D and Act 2 is going to be 2D, is what it's looking like here. But then, looking at the trailer metadata, we saw that the footage that we saw in the trailer was not Radical Highway, what's it called again? Rail Canyon Act 2, so that means Act 2 can be 3D and Act 1 can be 2D. Basically, there's going to be at least one 2D and one 3D level, essentially. And to be honest, that's kind of what I didn't want, really. I still think that they should have been mixing them for both stages because there's no classic Shadow here, so why have a fully 2D level? But I just hope that the 2D gameplay is actually decent enough to hold itself on its own, so yeah, let's hope so. The Sonic Stadium. What can you tell us about Shadow's motivations as a character? Like, why does he fight to protect the world? Iizuka says, in this game, and then the Sonic Stadium replies with, in general. Iizuka. As I'm sure you guys know, Shadow was created and was being used to get the retribution that Professor Gerald had on the world. He was going to destroy the world, but then remembered that Maria really loved the world, and so instead of destroying it, he actually saved the world. And ever since that, what he wanted to do is, for the memory of Maria, Maria loved the planet as it was. So it's not really like he wanted to save individual people on the planet. He wanted to preserve the entire planet because that's what Maria loved, and he wanted to really preserve that. So yeah, it's looking like that Iizuka truly does understand who Shadow as a character is supposed to be, and that makes sense because obviously, I'm pretty sure he said multiple times that his favourite Sonic character is Shadow the Hedgehog, so for him to actually understand what Shadow is actually supposed to be, that's good. And especially because we know from earlier that Iizuka is actually kind of having a say in what Shadow's character is actually supposed to be in the game, so yeah, it's all sounding good for Shadow's character here. The Sonic Stadium, where we see the return of prior bonus features like the figurine gallery of the Sonic 1 Mega Drive game, Iizuka. In Sonic Generations, the Sonic Stadium, yeah. Iizuka. So Sonic 1 has been removed from Sonic Generations portion of the game, but the Casino Night game has been included, so everyone will get it. And yeah, I think them removing the Sonic 1 Mega Drive emulator from the game makes sense because, you know, since it's Sega, they're going to want you to buy Origins, so having a way to play Sonic 1, the entire game, yeah, they ain't going to allow that, obviously. Right, here's a tweet from Aoud_Paul. Good news for those who are complaining about the Shadow Extended Prologue animation being exclusive to PlayStation. It's only timed. Sega of Japan confirmed that they plan to release it as DLC later on. So they made it exclusive to PlayStation, but only for a limited time. What is even the point then? I mean, even if it was going to be exclusive to PlayStation anyways, it would have been uploaded to like YouTube or something, so it was pointless in the first place, but now it's even more pointless. Like, what is even the point of this, man? This is so stupid, but whatever. Cool, I guess I can buy it if I want to see it, even though it's on YouTube. Then right here from Slave of Suzumiya. Iizuka-san wanted to murder the translator, man. He made a huge mistake, and yeah, you can see those images right there. Iizuka is giving that man a death cell. Look at that, man. And then for context on this image, so the interview asked how long the Shadow portion is, and the translator responded with it's not as long as Gen's. And you can see Iizuka signaling him not to say that as he answers. So either Iizuka didn't actually mean that and that's actually incorrect information, or Iizuka didn't want that information to be out there yet because the game really is that short. So I don't know what this means, but hopefully it's not the latter and the game actually is, you know, a long game at least. At least the length of Generations complete, like, not shorter, because Generations is already a short game anyway, so if it's like 2 hours at least, that'll be alright. That'll be alright. Now, some more Iizuka interviews right here from SSF 1991, who's been summarizing some information basically. We now know who's developing Sonic X Shadow Generations. Not only is it being developed by a Sonic team, but a designer on the original Generations game was brought on to direct Sonic X Shadow Generations. And yeah, that is good, because original Sonic Generations, yeah, great game, so to get designers from that game and work on Shadow Generations, that is basically all you can ask for really, isn't it? I mean, that's good. And I'm guessing that's the reason why Shadow Generations looks very on par with the quality and even surpassing the quality of the base Generations, because yeah, they are the original designers on there, so yeah, makes a lot of sense. Now this is from the IGN interview with Iizuka. Iizuka says that the Shadow content can be accessed separately in the game. What's happening with Shadow is happening in parallel with what's happening with the Sonics. And yeah, same thing as we said earlier basically. Shadow Generations takes place at the same time as Sonic Generations canonically, so unfortunately, I think this doesn't mean that anything after Generations can't be seen in Shadow Generations. So again, rest in peace Infinite. Would have loved to see you get like a redemption here, but oh well. It seems that the issue of the pop-in, which Sonic Frontiers had, won't stand out too much this time. Now, they didn't say it was gone completely, they just said it won't stand out too much this time, so it's probably still going to be in there, obviously, but I hope they have some sort of cool effect for the objects popping in at least, like some sort of fading or something, rather than just having it pop in, because they could have had like the popping in Frontiers stay exactly the same, but at least have it fade in so it would look a little nicer, but they just didn't do that. So hopefully Shadow Generations either has very, very small pop in or some sort of effect for the objects actually pop in, so it's less noticeable. I think the last bit of information here, I'm assuming this is a mistranslation due to how this seems to be phrased, but if true, is rescuing Chao going to open up new areas in the two Sonics levels? And yeah, just reading around this entire thing right here, basically what they're saying here is that finding the Chao in the Sonic Generations levels is going to unlock some brand new pathways that were never before seen in the original generation. So I'm guessing it's going to be like the Jade Ghost Whip section though, in like Colors Ultimate, where they are brand new pathways, but they're not going to stray too far away from the original level. And I'm guessing this is where the original Sonic Generation designers work comes in, with the original level designs obviously, so the new level design should be on the same quality as the original Generations, I hope. Anyways, that about does it for today's video then, so yeah, nothing huge in today's video really, just some more information. Yeah, it's just promising really, just looking good for the game now. And yeah, again, so far no red flags with this game now, so I'm still just waiting for them to pop up though. I'm just waiting, because it happens with every single Sonic release, but Shadow Generation seems to be alright, so I don't know if the red flags are going to appear, so maybe it'll be alright, maybe it'll be solid. But what do you guys think of this info in today's video? How long do you think Shadow Generation is going to take to be? Let me know down below. Love to see what you guys have to say. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, especially that last one. Don't forget to become unleashed. Turn that join button down below. Remember, it's not necessary. And I will see you all next time. Peace!